What's up, guys? How we doing?
Good. Don't tell Edgar anything about the master.
Well, he doesn't know. He's been working all day.
Should we turn off the TVs just so you guys know? Okay. All right, you go. All right. Coach, whenever you're ready, sir.
Okay, guys. We're officially 1 week away from the orange and blue game, right? So I think walking off the field from the scrimmage today, 1 week away from the orange and blue game. Certainly excited about all the Gator Nation showing up. Really great opportunity. Free admission, 7:30 under the lights. Great weather, hopefully. And looking forward to watching what I think is a team that has worked extremely hard, right? So can't compliment this group enough, can't compliment our staff enough, and certainly excited about a lot to watch, right? 27 new scholarship players, 17 freshmen, 10 scholarship, and then core group of veterans that are coming back, and really pleased with the progress we've made. So presents a great opportunity. Good day today. I would say, like typical, mixed bag. Offense, defense, back and forth. A lot of good, a lot of bad. A little less ugly today, maybe. We still got work to do to clean it up. I think when you're playing a mixture of players, lots of combination of players, that presents some challenges. We were without a handful of players today, but overall, Gators got better today. We got a lot of quality work. It was physical and got out of there relatively healthy. So, what questions we got here?
We'll start with Zach Goodall.
How much growth, I guess, did you see from Scrimmage 1 to Scrimmage 2, and with the spring game coming up, what are some of your early goals, some of the things that you want to see from that game?
Yeah, I thought there was improvement today. I thought we handled the transition better today in terms of the situations in the game as they arose, right? We played this game a little bit more like a true scrimmage, right? I mean, I played this scrimmage like more of a true game. If the defense went 3 and out, they're off the field and the other group came out. So it was a little bit more of a game-like flow. I think that led to us handling the situations better. A little bit more situational awareness relative to the down and distance, the field zone. I do think that the communication on defense was much better today. I do think that we've made progress on that side of ball from a communication standpoint. I felt like that was impressive today. Xavier Henderson had an exceptional day, made a ton of plays, had a ton of production. The ball went his way, and he made some really good plays today. A few things to manage from a turnover standpoint, but overall, a lot of growth. I thought we were tougher, we were more physical, we tackled better, and really good situational football. A lot of things we're going to be able to teach off of.
Haja, just being a veteran player, when you're talking about vocalizing and communicating on defense, how much has he been able to kind of step in and maybe fill Ventrell's role, because that's kind of what he was?
Yeah, no, I think one of Taraja's strengths, he is intelligent. I think he has experience as a player. He's played for multiple coordinators in his career, so he's learning a new system. That's nothing new to him, but I do think that translates. He's articulate, he's very well spoken, and he's an alpha. He does a great job communicating. We have unbelievable competition in that room. We've added a lot of good players to that room. And then some of the players on our team that are returning, Scooby in particular, I think has had a great spring camp. So there's competition in that room. Manny Nunnery is a factor. Obviously with Wingo being out, other guys are getting reps. Lou Spurlock, Jaden Robinson, Shamar James, we all know what he's capable of being. So that group has improved year or two in the system, and certainly a ton of competition, I think, is forcing the issue there.
Quarterback situation. Graham came in, obviously
probably thinking he's going to be the guy one more year. How is he distanced himself at all? How would you evaluate that competition right now?
Yeah, I mean, I don't necessarily know that we're ready to define that, in the public, if that makes sense. But what I would say is that Graham Mertz has been impressive to watch. Just his maturity, his ability to learn a new system in a very quick manner. He did two-a-days basically since the day he got here. He's been grinding away behind the scenes, and he's hit the ground running. I mean, he operates like a guy who's been around here, So, and the most important thing here is that he has forced the other players to rise to the occasion. Jack Miller has really made drastic improvement. I mean, I haven't watched Jack feel like, he's out basically the entire season, and then we throw him to the Wolves in the bowl game, but he has really impressed me with his response to the competition. And then Max obviously is a young player who flashes and does a lot of things well, is still learning and can be more consistent. So, we don't play a game anytime soon, right? And I think one thing that competition has done for both players is made them be on top of their game. So I like that variable. We're going to try to keep that variable where it's at.
Out of the spring game, though, with maybe a defined guy, maybe behind closed doors, not publicly, that the team can kind of rally around a little bit?
No, I don't. I think that they're rallying around both guys because both guys have proven day in and day out that they can be effective, right? So we got a long ways to go before we play and a lot of reps. I mean, training camp is essentially 2 spring practices to some degree, and we're going to have 18 OTAs this summer, a lot of throwing and catching, a lot of meetings, a lot of competition left here.
Think about staying on schedule. Would you say that through all but 1 week of spring practice that you guys are on schedule for what you thought they would be?
Yeah, 100%. I think that we're much improved. Just at, I'm say systems and process and efficiency, and we're able to teach better. The players have retained information. We're teaching all the material for the second time. So, yeah, I mean, I feel like I did in year 2 in the past, if that makes sense. I think that, I'm no different than every player that's a returning player or staff member in terms of just much more comfortable with the place, the people, what's next. The variables, and can do a better job teaching and leading. So I think we're on schedule there.
How about your offensive line, the progress that you've seen them make with so many new parts?
Yeah, I feel good about, in particular, I think the new players have affected our team. They've improved our depth. And we are without Jalen Farmer, Cameron Waits. So I think that young players, Najee Harris has become a factor. Been really impressed with Richie Leonard's growth. And then obviously Kingsley and Austin, our veteran players. And then the other tackles, I think Keontae and Damian have done a nice job, right? So Slaughter has stepped up, right? So I think that group is, we got a chance to have a good unit. We just got to put 5 out there, and we practice about 15 guys every day. So a lot of combinations, a lot of contingency plans. So that group, and one thing I would say about that group is they're going against a much improved front, right? Taller, longer. Fundamentally, defensive line is much improved. The edge players. There's a lot of new personnel on the defense. That's forced the offensive line. They're in a very competitive setting every day.
You touched on the spring gaming on a Thursday night, and I'm curious, how strategic is that in terms of a recruiting standpoint, just to have your own day compared to other SEC teams and to showcase that and to showcase a game day atmosphere?
Yeah, the original idea was twofold. It was about avoiding Easter weekend. And then also, you know, we look at the calendar and, okay, we've got 9 spring games that day right here in just our footprint, right? So, you know, we knew we were going to have to compete to get people here. So we moved it to Thursday, thought it went over well. You know, something about that place under the lights, you know, we got a lot of people off work Friday, so make it a long weekend and come watch the Gators play. So it's definitely some recruiting strategy that comes with it for sure.
There's always talk this time of year about scrimmaging. Would you ever be in favor of scrimmaging or turning the spring game into a live scrimmage against another school?
Yeah, I would have no issue with that. I would have no issue at all with it. I think that there'd be a lot of positives that come from it, and I've heard all the comments out there, and I agree wholeheartedly. I love the concept of, charging admission and giving the money to a charity. I think that's fantastic. I think that within your footprint, I think at the National Football League level, it's done. And I think the coaches, could come to an agreement about conceptually what it looks like, what situations you're going to work. It'd be entertaining for the fans, and I think you'd probably get some TV time. It'd be part of it, so no issue at all.
What have you done this year? I'm sure the red zone offense wasn't where you wanted it to be last season. How have you, assessed what went wrong or what you didn't do as well as you would like, and how have you worked on that this spring?
Yeah, I think I don't necessarily know that there's anything specific outside of the obvious things that affected all areas of our team, We always do a ton of professional development in the off-season in terms of new concepts, down and distance, field zone, situations with the clock. You're always looking for wrinkles that complement your system. I think our issues last year had a lot to do with year one, new system, new group of players in a new place, and we got to coach better. We got to execute better.
If you think it's been better, but I guess if the offense is better, then you're worried about the defense right now. So
yeah, every detail matters, and certainly when the field shrinks, your attention to detail matters even more, right? So, there's lots of things that contribute to that. It's probably more than an answer to one question, but there's no question we need to improve. There's lots of areas on our team where we need to get better. So, and ultimately that's our job.
Any other offensive standouts, guys who scored touchdowns, anything like that? I know you don't like giving us a bunch of stats, but there's some other guys maybe you single out?
Yeah, I thought Montrell and Trevor in particular, had some really good runs today. Yeah, for the most part, Xavier, I thought, every time I turned around, he was making a play. At receiver, oftentimes it's about what coverage they're playing and where the ball went because of that, and hopefully you make a play, right? So last week, tight ends made a bunch of plays, right? I do think Andy Jean flashed a little bit today. He made a handful of plays that I thought, he's starting to look more comfortable. A lot to learn there, but had some opportunities, and when given opportunities, he made some plays, So, yeah, those are a couple.
Time for a few more guys. How do you feel about the performance in the safety room? Just a lot of reps to replace there, and young guys are
Yeah, that's one of the areas on our team where young players are going to have to play. There's no question, right? So the Jordan Castell project, the Bryce Thornton project, and certainly Kamari and Miguel, both being young players, had some experience last year, but not necessarily returning starters. So that room is a room where we're doing a lot of work, and then, you got the star position with Perkins, Jaden, Sharif, And then Jamarcus is back there, you know, and he's learning that for the first time. He'll make some improvement over the summer and through training camp. So, you know, overall, that is a room where we could add a player. You know, I mean, that's a room that we need to continue to develop depths, if that makes sense. And ultimately, it's going to be a big part of how good we can be on defense is how good that can be. That'll be one of the areas of our team where we will be inexperienced and we will be playing young players.
You mentioned the tight ends. Is Xander's, is there a belief that he's a long-term injury? And then Odom, is there a belief that he could be ready for the season?
Yeah, no, Xander's just has AC sprain, nothing significant there, just a contact. Fell down, caught a ball, landed. He'll be back. He may not make it back by Thursday, but it's not a long-term issue. I do think that Odom is anticipated to be, you know, kind of right on that line. You know, he's working extremely hard. One thing about Odom, he's very smart, and I think when forced into playing time last year, at the end of the year, he really emerged. So there's something to be said for that experience. And then I think he's bright enough, you know. I mean, think about just a couple of years ago, we missed spring practice. We still had a season, you know. So sometimes I have to remind my coaches of that.
Guys, one last question. We'll close with Zach Alvarez.
Billy, two things. What did you just think from the defense today? I know they got some turnovers in the first scrimmage. How do you feel like they played today?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think that I thought they did a good job mixing the pressures in today. Thought they made it hard at times, you know. And I think that overall just communicated really well, on the same page. Thought they created some negatives, you know, some TFLs, some pressure, quarterback hit, sack. We were a little banged up on the offensive line today, and they took advantage of that. So I do think that group's getting better.
All the transfers and freshmen that fans are going to get to see next week. We've got to see these guys all camp. Just what can fans look forward to on Thursday and some of the stuff that you guys want to showcase? Yeah,
I mean, no, I think these guys have worked extremely hard, and this is an opportunity to kind of put that on display, right? I mean, I think as a competitor, it's not the end-all, be-all, you know, but I think we're much improved. Our systems are better, processes are better. We're fundamentally a lot further along. I think a lot of the newcomers are explosive players. I think they're impact players, and I think they're going to be out there playing. So it's going to be a lot of fun to watch. You know, anytime you've got new quarterbacks, you got 27 rookies, right, that, you know, a top 10 recruiting class in the country, and all of them are here except for 4, you know. So not to mention a bunch of veterans that I think have taken strides. So, you know, year 2, proud of how hard this group has worked. And certainly, you know, I know our fans, they'll show up, and hopefully we'll make it a lot of fun to watch.
Coach, we'll have one more with Mark Long.
Osiris Torrance, I meant to ask this last week. I did. Did you ever consider or try moving him to tackle? There's some talk about him maybe making that transition in the NFL. I mean, your thoughts on that? Is that even a possibility for him?
Yeah, I mean, I think he's a guard that could be an emergency tackle in the pros. You know, he's 6'5". He's long. Believe it or not, he played tackle, I think, 21 season, like the opener. We played at Texas. We had a guy get hurt, and he played right tackle in that game. So, you know, anytime players have an opportunity to create position versatility in that room, right, you know, like right now, you know, Austin Barber, Keontae Goodwin, Damian George, I mean, they play both sides every day, right? I mean, you want to create value for yourself by having some position versatility. Hey, I can't play tackle. I'm learning to snap, right? So I'm either emergency center or I'm an emergency tackle at the next level. you're only dressing 7 or 8 guys, right? So, you know, the 6th, 7th, and 8th guy, those guys have got to have some versatility, and that's what he could do for you. He'd go out there and play tackle in an emergency.
All right, thank you, Coach. Thanks, guys.
All right, guys, thank y'all.
Next time we're seeing you is Thursday night next week?
Yeah, I think so. Got a Masters update. We got